Play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring! Bombstastic gonna find Rainer!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series. We're back in the playoffs, and tonight I'm going to be joined by CoCaster Munkus from Division A. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty well, Aero. How are you?
I'm doing just swell. And so we're going to see a couple of teams that you're familiar with, that you've played here quote-unquote recently this season, with Goodbye Forever and Team Happy Cloud.
Yes, indeed. The one thing I remember about both of these teams is they have a very high priority on Greymane. They love the blow-up comps.
Fair enough. Well, you know, this is a great place to see it. And let's take a quick look to check out the standings, the brackets, the maps, and I imagine we'll be ready to go here shortly. All right. So, as you can tell here, we've got the number 4... hold on, I gotta switch those. Because the tiebreaker actually went to Regen Retro for 3 and 4. So, update that. There we go. Alright, so we've got the number 4 team here, Goodbye Forever, versus the number 5 team, Team Happy Cloud. And just checking in at the bracket here. So let's look at where we've been, what we've got going on here. So, earlier this week, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge took a 2-1 victory over Beast Coast. That was an exciting series, wasn't it, Munkus?
Very close. It could have gone either way the entire way through.
We also had Dread Pirates taking the 2-1 over Minion Miners, and Regen Retro 2-1 over Wholesome Halfwits. So far, Division A, batting 1,000 on 3-game series.
The thing I would say is that in all of the games in the playoffs so far, it could have gone either way for the bottom team to overtake the top team. It's been very close. There is no very clear team at the top of Div A. It's all very much, it's all pretty evenly matched.
Fair enough. And Phoenix is banned. Just reminding the teams about the bans of Phoenix, and just in case, you never know. But, alright, checking up on the maps here. Goodbye Forever banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple. Team Happy Cloud banned out Towers of Doom and Braxis Holdout. And our first
match.
Yep. And our first pick of the series here is going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and that was the selection of Team Happy Cloud as Goodbye Forever chose first pick tonight.
That is pretty much the standard in this meta. First pick is immensely important with how strong Deathwing and Ariel continue to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're going to be getting started here very shortly. Just waiting for them to push the button. There it is. Mega Muffin says, I guess Goodbye Forever has to go 2-1 to continue. Because that's
continue to be the exact same thing as the rest of round 1.
Exactly. So let's take a quick look here. I wanted to see what the results were in the regular season between these two teams. Let's see, Goodbye Forever and Team Happy Cloud. There it is. February 9th. So they just played last week. Oh my goodness.
So they're very prepared for this match.
So they played... Let's compare the bands here. So when they last played, Goodbye Forever banned out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. So they kept with the Sky Temple. Towers of Doom was banned out by Team Happy Cloud. And Team Happy Cloud had banned out Braxis and Alterac. So BOE is new. Alterac got replaced.
And you'll notice that despite being first pick, Goodbye Forever banned out Joe on Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's because they don't really play Joe that much, but Happy Cloud absolutely loves Joe. And it looks like we're going to get either Deathwing or Ariel through this first round of bans. Maybe both. And
you know, the other thing too is that this is a really good map for Johanna because of the rotations. She's good with helping to clear the waves. So if you know that your opponent has a priority of taking Johanna as a tank, it's not a big surprise to see that. But there goes the Cho'Gall.
A little unexpected. I didn't think that either team played Cho'Gall, and as second pick, you actually have the first opportunity to pick Cho'Gall. But to be honest, I think he's the strongest hero in the game right now. He is completely oppressive if you have any idea how to play Cho.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, Greymane going to be the first pick coming out from Goodbye Forever.
Yeah, Greymane for both teams is going to be highly contested because he is key to their blow-up comps with Cursed Bullet. I don't think either team will really take Ariel or Deathwing necessarily over him because of how critical he is to their regular comps. However, that does severely change up the way that the draft will go, and just like that, we have Ariel in the second pick.
Absolutely. So Ariel and Hanzo going to be the picks here, and of course earlier this week Ariel did get a bit of a change, slightly longer cast, not a cast time, the cast time's the same, but a channel time for the person to be rezzed went from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. And then also, what was the other thing? Oh, they increased the cooldown.
And they lowered her damage.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So
Kael'thas ETC, Kael'thas is pretty standard because of how well he clears waves, and ETC is a strong generalized tank that can really perform without Joe on the field, but no Deathwing for either team.
And, you know, I gotta say, I don't find that to be super surprising. You know, I've seen a lot of matches where, you know, Deathwing makes it through. Ariel, on the other hand, is, you know, typically highly prioritized. But Deathwing is kind of hit or miss. Teams either, you know, love him or hate him. Or I shouldn't say him. Love him or just don't play him.
If somebody on the other team plays Deathwing, you can't let them have Deathwing. And Mal'Ganis ban, not unexpected. Again, Team Happy Cloud plays Mal'Ganis and Goodbye Forever doesn't. But Mal'Ganis just ate a pretty significant nerf with the last round patch.
Yeah, and I was interested to see how that would affect him. You know, I haven't seen a whole lot of games, but he does set up a lot of plays with his Night Rush. So ultimately, if you have a good healer, and by good healer I mean player, who can enable your Mal'Ganis to be able to set up those kind of combinations, it works really well still.
There's offlane. Okay, I disagree with this because offlane Deathwing is kind of trash right now. He loses to basically everybody in the offlane, and he can't push that lane very well. So if you're going to offlane Deathwing, this is the map to do it because it's so very much more a 5v5 map from the get-go, as opposed to just having an offlane soak all the time.
Makes sense. And Garrosh can't throw him. Last pick gonna be Lunara. So we got an interesting comp here.
Lunara is pretty strong into Deathwing with her poison damage and just being able to constantly keep pressure onto him.
And I mean, Hanzo with the giant, what is it? Giant Slayer? It's not Giant Killer. I think it's Giant Slayer. At 16 can really shred Deathwing. So we'll see. We'll see what they take for that.
There are two theories I have heard for Hanzo into Deathwing. One is to go scatter Aero build and just blow him up because of his huge hitbox, and the other one is to go auto attack build and just shred through his armor and, like you said, take the giant killer.
Yeah, and either one, you get the benefit of the Giant Slayer at 16 because it's auto attacks and Scatter Arrow. So if you get the Scatter Arrow at level 1, you get 7. You know, that's a huge chunk out of a Deathwing. But it's not just Deathwing, right? I mean, ETC is going to take a lot of damage from that. But yeah, we'll see. Let's go ahead and vote in chat for who you think wins game number 1. You can, at the top right of your screen, hit that drop down, select the team, hit the vote button, and we're going to get into game number 1. Who do you want to introduce, Munkus?
I guess I'll cover the Deathwing team since he is my bae. We have, speaking of which, we have Newbie on Deathwing, Thundercats on Anduin, Non-Champion on Greymane, Flavor Flav on ETC, Mustache Mill on Kael'thas.
Alrighty, that was for Goodbye Forever. Over here for Team Happy Cloud on the right, we've got R275 Deltic playing the Oriole, Sweet Buns on the Garrosh, Brett Michaels there on the Lunara, Nico on the Rexar, and who am I missing? Galaxy Quest on Hanzo.
Looking at the talents.
Yeah, no worries.
And Hanzo is going Scatter Arrow build.
All right, well, we'll see how that turns out.
Picked by the Deathwing, he took Molten Blood, which is probably his least taken level 1 talent.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, usually you look at either the Protect talent or the or Dragon Soul, Draconic Might or Dragon Soul. So this is interesting to see that change up.
The reason why you see those two is because the healing from Molten Blood is both A, extremely negligible, and B, only works when he has 3 or more plates. So once he starts needing the healing, he stops getting the healing.
Yeah, so I expect to see him kind of playing more of a mage type of build, do you think? So that he's farther back away from the action?
Even in the mage build, I generally would say Protected is the best, because then you can't get focused down.
Right. Well, ETC is going to get knocked back there into the wall, is going to try to power slide through. Very low, but it doesn't... Oh, wait, maybe? Nah. Looked like for a second there, Sweet Buns was going to hit it with that Groundbreaker, but Lunara just not quite close enough to be able to get that kill.
The key thing in this game, in the early game, is going to be how quickly Hanzo can complete simple geometry. He's already got 6 stacks, and there goes a Garrosh.
Yeah, and this is a map where Garrosh, you know, gets a lot of value because of the rotations, can kind of sneak in and get a kill. But, that said, you still have to deal with the fact that there's Gravity Lapse, you got the Power Slide, you got a Root, a lot of ways to lock down a Garrosh, and it certainly seems like early game Garrosh can be managed pretty well. Goodbye Forever coming in with all of the votes. 100% of the people saying Goodbye Forever for this match, or this map at least.
And Deathwing is going Q build, which I would definitely say is the strongest of the builds right now. And people keep saying, how do you get people to stand in the queue? And my response is always, they just do.
Well, and it certainly helps when you've got, say, Gravity Lapse or a Light Bomb combo with ETC, Mosh Pit, things like that to, you know, hold them down for a few moments. And, I mean, this level 4 talent, Infernus, 75% additional damage against heroes when he's above 75 energy is absolutely just bonkers.
You have to remember that his Q is the highest damage per second ability in the entire game when it's versus heroes. And that's without this plus 75% boost. So, and the real time that Deathwing activates in this build is post 13, because then that's when you get the energy reduction and essentially make his Q be free.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Energy reduction, I think it has an energy return. It lasts, his breath lasts for basically about double, and that's doing additional damage. And especially if you take 16 upgrade as well, you get basically essentially a living bomb.
Yeah, a living bomb that ticks for every second as opposed to just the one explosion on people, because it deals damage while it's ticking.
Right. Yep. All right, level 7's up here first for Goodbye Forever. They do have 41 gems turned in, 19 so far for Team Happy Cloud.
Cataclysm just came out from the Deathwing.
Was that to interrupt a turn or something?
Yeah, there's a Lunara and the Rexar there. I don't think it was necessary, but it's got a pretty low cooldown on it, so why not?
Yeah, and interesting to go into the Skyfall as well, so that's going to help with the returning faster when he goes up into the air, giving him a little bit of healing.
Skyfall is 1000% the correct choice against any team that has any sort of way to counter Deathwing, because if you take like the ability that makes your cooldowns come up faster into Hanzo, he's just going to line up his scatter arrow to hit you with all the arrows the second you land.
All right, and Kael'thas going into Burned Flesh there at level 7, so he's going to get that % damage into this Garrosh and Rexar, and you know what, they've got Misha, so that makes it a little bit easier to get a double hero proc on that. Deathwing doing a good job of stalling out the Rexar, making sure that he can't turn in those 21 gems.
He's also doing a good job managing his plates. He's been at 4 plates pretty much this entire game. I don't think he's had to fly yet. That keeps him the regeneration and the damage reduction.
Well, Sweet Buns there getting very low is going to end up throwing ETC out before ETC can get the power slide. It's going to be Anduin, though, going down first. So 1 kill each side here. And Oriel almost catching the Kael'thas, another 5 degrees to the right there, and that would have been potentially a dead Kael'thas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this game post 10, because I think the Team Happy Cloud has a slightly better ult advantage between Taunt, Resurrect, and Dragon's Arrow compared to Light Bomb, Bullet, and Phoenix.
Oh, you think it's gonna be Phoenix, do you?
Generally, yeah.
I mean, I say that because I've seen a lot of Pyroblast lately. That said, they don't have the Ana for the nano boost, so I expect it'll be Phoenix as well. It's really good for zoning out the gems, the turn-in points here.
Yeah, it keeps that denial on the gem turn-in, and this team isn't bad in the wave clear department, but it helps in clearing these spiders. It's just a lot more versatile here than the Pyroblast. And yep, there's the Phoenix.
So all 3 of the Web Weavers will go down here, and it looks like we're going to see Team Happy Cloud keep pushing up in the top lane. It looks like Lunara does have Nature's Culling, so that's giving her the additional damage over time from her Nature's Toxin as well onto these buildings.
I'm looking at the stats right now, and it's kind of funny how low Goodbye Forever's hero damage is right now, except for the Deathwing, who is just chunking it.
Well, I imagine that's just Deathwing, you know, bouncing off of Misha, right?
Deathwing bouncing off of Misha and the Lunara on occasion. It is free damage that is not impactful.
Yeah, exactly, right. Once again, these detainment strikes oftentimes, now already sitting at 4 stacks, so certainly has been missing some. Missing the taunt there, though. We could see a mosh pit soon, but not quite getting there. The Oriole was positioned in such a way that it wasn't really possible for ETC to get that.
And this is going to be big here. We have a blue turn-in along with Deathwing with Burn Beneath My Shadow. That's going to allow him to have some pretty crazy Cataclysm plays if they can push in these lanes.
Yeah, that reset is huge. Just in some cases, you can cast it back to back, right? If you know that if you know a structure's about to go down, you throw down a Cataclysm and knock off. There's the connected Detainment Strike, and that's a dead ETC.
Oh, and it's not Res, it's Crystal Aegis.
You know, I'm actually not opposed to that. There's the Dragon Arrow coming out, but they're going to get the big taunt onto Anduin. Brett Michaels now working on to Mustache Mill, and he's going to get thrown into the group. Detainment Strike now complete, or rather repeated offense. Deathwing, however, chasing down the Rexar. But look at that. 39 gems gone. Say goodbye forever to those gems on the side of Team Happy Cloud.
I was looking bottom when the fight happened top, and then I was looking top when the fight was happening bottom. I didn't see if Deathwing managed to get value off of his Cataclysm reset.
You know what? I didn't either.
He definitely didn't get one there, though.
Yeah. Well, there's the third Web Weaver about to go down here. 2 forts down for the Goodbye Forever Web Weaver phase, and all the way up to the fort here in the top wall completely down.
And Goodbye Forever has another turn in that they're going to get unless Team Happy Cloud sniffs this one out. Looks like they're going to do that, but Deathwing is now joining his compatriots with the Wicked Inferno level 13, so he's going to be able to queue all day long and twice on Sunday.
And coincidentally, today's Sunday.
There you go.
All right, so the Scatter Arrows, is it straight? Simple geometry there, all completed. And here comes the Cataclysm. The taunt did go out, Crystal Aegis being used here, but I don't think there's a whole lot can be done about that one. Mosh Pit used there as well to help secure the kill. They also managed to get the Hanzo. So what I did find interesting was the Sanctification. As I mentioned, there it is.
That is interesting, though. I'm okay with it here because they have to save a lot of their interrupts for ETC. So unless I think the only interrupts that they have to work. Okay, there are a decent number of interrupts they have to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, you got Misha. Misha would be the main one, but of course Misha's not usually there. But you also got the Detainment Strike. You got the everything that Garrosh does basically, and you got Hanzo's Dragon Arrow. Cataclysm coming out, and Deathwing's able to just make it right over that wall.
Yep, Deathwing don't care.
Warlord, Indomitable used for sweep buns there, giving him that unstoppable, but not quite able to get up to the ETC that he was looking for. Top keep down, and now with that back-to-back turn-in phase here from Goodbye Forever, they've got all of the map pressure. They've got...
Yeah, this is only going to get worse for Team Happy Cloud because that 16 power spike from Goodbye Forever is enormous.
And there it is. So we're going to get the double Flame Strike talent here for Kael'thas, Fury of the Sunwell. And as expected, we've got the conflagration from Deathwing.
All pretty standard picks, and this is just a ton of AoE damage within all these tight corridors. There's just no escaping it.
And Mosh Pit's back up too. A Mosh Pit with an appropriate placed Molten Flame would be just devastating to Team Happy Cloud.
You don't need that Mosh Pit to last very long at all to get the full value from it. Like right here, they are only in that flame for about half a second, and the dot got applied. And they can't contest this boss at all because of the Deathwing.
Yeah, Deathwing's just kind of hanging out right on the entry point here. Garrosh entirely by himself. Boar's coming out, does hit a lot of the heroes here, but Sweet Bun's on an island and the team just couldn't get there, especially with the Deathwing zoning out. Greymane now looking for the Rexar. There's no Misha left to help Nico out. And with this very healthy boss, I don't know, Munkus, I think this might be the game.
It's absolutely the game. Their entire team is super low. You have the boss pushing in. It's basically impossible to lose at this point.
Well, it certainly helps when you have a stand here and take all of the damage for free. Gonna get a Mosh Pit onto the Oriole. Crystal Age is coming out just at the end. But it's not enough. Deathwing getting another kill there. Galaxy Quest doing everything possible, but it's just not going to happen.
GGs have come out. I don't think that they're going to let Deathwing through again.
Well, certainly find out. Not a high kill count game. 7 kills to 4 overall. We talked about the damage numbers there. Of course, Deathwing's, fully half of that damage was in the pre-10 phase where it was, as you mentioned, not really effective damage that just got healed right back up. But really, both these teams just play into the late game.
He did as much damage as the rest of his team combined.
True. And that just goes to show you the difference between, what these teams are playing versus what you might come across in like a Storm League game or, in some of the lower divisions where they're constantly looking for fights, right? They always want to find somebody that they can pick off so they can get an advantage. In this case, these teams were not really constantly looking for that. They were looking for how do they get an advantage just on the map itself.
Right. And you can see from the stats that Hanzo was pretty effective at getting poke through, and so is the Lunara. And despite having all that damage for the 4-man, there weren't that many kills secured off of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you just look at the 4-man, it's 41,000 and 39,000 from the damage compared to 17 and 14.
And, the kill count right up until the very last team fight there was even. They got Garrosh killed, they got Rexar killed, they got Oriel killed, all right in that last team fight. So it was 4-4 right up until the end. And again, that just goes to show how different these comps were and how much value Goodbye Forever got, because they had literally everything on the map. They didn't lose a single fort in that game.
It can go to show just how important it is to die at the right times if you're going to die. You can die early on in the game and it's not going to change, too much. But if you die right before the other team has a turn in, then that creates a huge swing against your team.
So our next game is going to be Alterac Pass. This one was banned out in the regular season. It was banned out by Team Happy Cloud, and I'm guessing it was, yeah. So this is the selection of Goodbye Forever.
It's funny. This was Goodbye Forever, not Team Happy Cloud's choice.
That's correct.
Okay, because I had been saying to some people early on that from the games I've watched so far this season in NGS, if the other team is better than you, go to Alterac Valley and pick Ragnaros, because that makes up for a large amount of the talent gap just right there from just having that much push on the map. It's a very slow objective, and Lava Wave gets you so much value while you're fighting for the objective.
I can see that.
Compare that to Cursed Hollow, where you just have to channel the objective once. Here you have to channel it and then defend it for a minute.
Yeah, and all the while you can be gathering XP because of your Lava Wave. You've got Molten Core for the defense.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
I've seen so many games so far where they lose the objective very slowly, and they've already gotten a fort from the Lava Wave.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so just waiting on the teams to wrap up their communications with each other, make sure that they're all set up and ready to go. Ginger says hello, everybody. There you go. Can I put you down now? Go over there.
Just Key says, rough if they give up turn-ins, their clear is pretty weak. I think both teams had pretty decent amount of clear. I don't think that was but Hanzo with the scatter arrow does a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, and you have Lunara with the Nature's Calling.
Right. Nature's Calling and Splintered Spear puts out a ton of PvE damage.
So, interesting. Okay, so I have seen this here. The comp that Team Happy Cloud picked on Battlefield of Eternity was one with Sergeant Hammer. They went ETC, Blaze, Greymane, Stukov, Sergeant Hammer. I don't know that they will do that here, but I have seen it here from other teams. Goodbye Forever, they have an interesting setup here. They had, and again, this is on a different map entirely, but just to give some insight into, you know, why they banned out Battlefield of Eternity and ultimately left up Alterac Pass. Goodbye Forever had main tank Uther, or I guess main healer Uther. We had Kerrigan, Raynor, Vala, and Zarya on Battlefield of Eternity. Stat-wise, that turned out to be 18 to 5, 18 kills to 5 in favor of Team Happy Cloud. And Team Happy Cloud won it. Is that correct? Yeah, so Team Happy Cloud actually won this set. Maybe I did. I don't know if I said that earlier or not. But Team Happy Cloud actually won the set when they played 2-0. So Goodbye Forever taking that first point is really valuable for them.
Like I said, in Div A, the teams are so close together, skill-wise, that this is going to be by the margins. I think the fact that Goodbye Forever got both Greymane and Deathwing was enormous. I doubt they're going to get both of those heroes ever again.
Well, certainly, at least in this match, I expect that we'll see some adjustments. I don't know that we'll see Team Happy Cloud pick up the Deathwing. So I guess what I'll be interested to see is, do they make any changes to their draft? Obviously, they're the first pick now, so that's going to be a change ultimately out of the gate. But do they look to get rid of the Deathwing? Because at this point, I don't know that Goodbye Forever wants to get rid of that.
Well, Team Happy Cloud, they have Greymane as a possible first pick here, and so Greymane is one of the few heroes that can deal with a Deathwing. It's Greymane and Leoric, and that's it, pretty much.
Let's see. So they've played. Team Happy Cloud has played Greymane 13 times, has just under a 54% win rate.
Oh, a ban by Goodbye Forever. They know the power of Deathwing. They don't want none of that.
Alright, well, fair enough. And again, I mean, I'm not surprised to see the ban onto the Gaul. Lost Vikings getting getting banned out as well.
Vikings only gets banned out if you know that the other team has some tech. That's not a random ban.
Let's see, and they've played Vikings previously in NGS, it looks like, in this season. They played it once, and they've won with it once.
Yeah. Alright, Hanzo ban. Hanzo was pretty impactful last game, and this is one of his better maps because of all of the walls for the Scatterer to bounce off of.
Alright, we're going to see the Abathur picked up here by Team Happy Cloud.
That kind of negates picking up the Ragnaros, so they're not going to follow my advice.
Now, I don't see Abathur ever being picked up by Team Happy Cloud. Interestingly enough here. At least not in NGS.
It's interesting that they picked up the Abathur because, yeah, it allows the other team to have Greymane.
Yeah. So I wonder if they thought maybe that Goodbye Forever might have taken it if they'd left the Abathur up.
Maybe, but you also have to have a really solid plan with the Abathur.
For sure. And there's that Johanna that we talked about earlier.
Johanna can be a decent hat target, but the key thing here to look out for is clone targets. Things like Jaina, and I have discussed this with some people, apparently Kira is a very good clone target because of some bugged interactions between her and the clone.
I'll have to... Now I really do have to watch that video. I was gonna get around to it, but now I feel like I have to. Zeratul is gonna be the ban here.
The long and short of it is that if the original Kira applies her bleeds first, then the clone all can apply bleeds, and the original will benefit from having those bleeds applied. Like, for some reason, the game counts them as separate entities, except for that it only gives credit for the bleeds to one of the two characters. And as a very weird interaction, that means that you can infinitely keep up the Abathur clone bleeds by auto-attacking with Kira.
So... does it actually stack up like there's 10 stacks?
No. Okay, yes, it does stack. It does act like there. If the Abathur Kira has put a stack on, then yes, it will eventually act like there are 10 total stacks, and all 10 of them have the ownership of the original of whoever put the stacks on to begin with.
I'll have to see that in the video. Because so
they could be going for this.
Yeah, I mean, other factors, other heroes like that do like show up like that. So we're gonna get the Sylvanas and Rexar again.
I find this kind of interesting because none of these are good clone targets. You want that clone to have that force magnifier, and the best one is Jaina because of the chill targets. With 2 Jainas, it's essentially it crit damage on everything all day.
So, could it be Monstrosity?
I mean, if they want to lose the game, it could be. Monstrosity is bad.
But Monstrosity would allow them to kind of do what you were talking about with the Ragnaros, right? Like kind of getting the XP in the other lanes.
Monstrosity doesn't push that hard. And the Monstrosity will only give soak to Abathur if the Monstrosity gets the killing blow.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to come up with an idea as what we were looking at, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they're thinking like a double Johanna for the front line or a double Sylvanas. Oh, that was really fast.
I mean, that will get Black Arrow stacks on people having 2 Sylvanas.
All right. Well, I put up the poll in chat. You know the drill at this point, so let's go ahead and introduce our teams. Go ahead and start with Team Happy Cloud. Or, I'm sorry, Goodbye Forever, the one on the left.
Alright, for Goodbye Forever, we have Thundercats on Anduin, New B on Tyrael, Mustache Mill on Kael'thas, Non-Champion on Greymane, and Flava Flav on the ETC.
Alrighty, and for Team Happy Cloud, we're going to see Galaxy Quest on the Abathur. We got Nico once again on the Rexar. R275 Delta on the Tyrande. We got Sylvanas being played by Brett Michaels, and Sweet Buns on the Johanna. Every time I say that, I'm like, I got baited.
Oh, we got some cheese going on from the non-Sylvanas team.
You know what? Feels good. Greymane taking a lot of damage there. They don't quite get the tower down, but they do get quite a bit of damage. And there's no mule at this point for Abathur to catch up. Kind of an interesting place for Abathur to hang out, too.
Yeah, that's not how you ever play Abathur. You always put him close to the front wall so that he can get some passive soak, maybe. Here's the thing. I don't think Team Happy Cloud should have responded to that at all. You have Sylvanas.
Right, exactly.
Which is better. If they want to do this silly cheese nonsense, do the silly cheese nonsense and turn off their towers.
Right. Do it, but do it better. So, all right. Both teams heading off to their siege camps. Gonna get those started here and send those out as early as they can. We do have the spike burst here for Abathur as well. So, looking at going into, you know, the more team fight focused build, and Team Happy Cloud getting 2 of the votes here, 2 out of 3. So 67%. It looks like Greymane is going to hold on to the siege camp for a bit. Sylvanas coming in with Team Happy Clouds, but they do scout out Greymane, kind of hanging out and waiting there, and so he's going to pick that up.
See, I would have thought with Sylvanas and Abathur that Sylvanas would have gone W build because she can benefit from the Abathur's Black Arrows stacks on people.
Awesome. Yeah, I see that.
But she is apparently elected to go with the early game strength of Might of the Banshee Queen, and we have a spike at 20 at 4 from Abathur. I cannot speak to that.
Yeah, and it is going to be Mercenary Queen here for Sylvanas as well. So the Greymane using that disengage, just barely dodging the Lunar Flare. And we're getting our first cavalry camp here, prison camp, coming up on the map. We're going to get a rotation, it looks like, up onto Tyrael. Tyrael doesn't have a whole lot of mana here, so if they can get a stun, I think they might be able to get him. Apparently he has enough. So he's going to head back.
Misha died.
Yeah, so Sylvanas is still up in the top lane here, and I kind of wonder, with this being an early cavalry, do they just give it up and get what push they can? But Sylvanas is by herself, so that's not really going to be happening here.
It's very questionable decision making. What you should be doing here as the Abathur team is stalling out the objective and put Abathur deep into a lane, get soaked. I don't know why. Okay, maybe he's burrowing out now. So I was saying, I don't know why he's just sitting all the way back like that.
Well, Misha goes down, and they're trying to stall out the channel, but at least so far, we've got 24 seconds here on the timer, and with everybody here on the side of Goodbye Forever, I don't know that there's any way they can stall this out.
Well, it's kind of pointless stalling it out and dying for it when Abathur is sitting at the gate nowhere near the experience orbs. Like, they stalled all of that and they died for it and they didn't get any value from it.
Yeah, and I mean, Abathur can hat the minions to gather up the XP real quick, you know, in alternating lanes. But yeah, I mean, they really needed to have somebody, well, not just somebody, they needed to have most of the team there to slow down even just picking up the initial channel. But Goodbye Forever being able to just walk in and pick up that channel kind of puts them in an awkward place, because now cavalry's coming, they're pushing down into the bot lane. That's going to give them a boss potential, and they're pushing top lane too against the Abathur here, and Abathur's going to have to pay attention to this because ETC could just walk right on in and take him out.
Right. But yeah, if you're an Abathur team, you have to play the game a lot differently than you would normally. You have to play stall on this sort of map and let Abathur body soak, and they didn't get in position to stall, and Abathur didn't body soak.
Well, and they do have Mule now, but top lane's got a nice heavy wave here, so we'll see if the fort is able to eliminate all the minions before ETC's less than amazing wave clear is able to get it.
There should be a mule coming out any second now. There it is.
There it is, yeah. So Siege Camp's going to get picked up here by Goodbye Forever. And that's going into the mid lane. There are no towers for the defense. There's no wall.
Remember when Mule was just the standard filler talent for support?
For like 5 of them? Yeah.
Yeah. What do we give Malfurion here? I don't know. Give him Mule. That fits his kit, right?
Yeah.
Druid, Mule, same thing.
Well, it's going to be the boss up in the top lane here, and I actually really like this call going for this one first, because this boss will probably be able to take out the top fort, and if they can make their way down into the bot, which Team Happy Cloud's doing right now, they may be able to catch that, invade the boss fight, and steal that away, and then if they push with that, they can quite likely get a keep.
Yeah, I couldn't see before they started if Avatar had in mind of the boss or not, because if you have an Avatar, you should be omnipresent on the map as far as knowing exactly where the enemy team is. It's like, oh, you put one mine on the top boss, you know they're going for the top boss.
Well, Tyrael just got stunned by Misha. It does hit the Sanctification, but nobody else is here, so this is likely just going to be a dead Tyrael. He is able to make it out, though, just barely with that Eldruins. And Boar's coming out from the Rexar, but that looks like all it's going to be. So boss is going to make its way in here. Again, as mentioned, there's that double Sylvanas shutting down the towers, and Rexar's going to head back and deal with that top boss. Looks like maybe they're all going to go ahead and pull back. And this is Brett Michaels. Yeah, it's almost dead. Yeah, Brett Michaels has had to hearth the last couple of times, like very quickly, like, and I guess maybe this is the reason why he's sitting at 2/3 mana. Throwing out that Haunting Wave just brought down like 15-20% of his mana with one spell. You know, so sometimes it's like, hey, stick around for 2-3 more seconds and now you've got a full mana bar. Because at this point, going into these fights, sitting at half mana, it's going to be a lot more difficult to sustain in that.
Again, really got a question. Happy Cloud's shot calling here. They, instead of hard thing and dealing with the very minor amount of damage the boss would do to the lane, they could have gone for the objective and have it channeled and be pushing it down. And instead they conceded all of that advantage, and Avatar's still not soaking a lane with his body. He's where he is now, he's not going to get any soak there. He needs to move his little sluggy butt right on top of the minions.
Alright, so Gravity Lap's going to go out and hit the front line there with the Living Bomb, but ultimately Johanna's able to get away. We do have Merc Queen available, but again, you know, ETC's up here clearing out the camp. There's the Blessed Shield, the Lunar Flare coming in as well, and that's going to be a kill onto ETC. That's absolutely huge for them. Now, with the Abathur, Clone is up, so they should be able to push in on this and get started on the channel.
Yeah, there's no way Goodbye Forever can win this fight without ETC and with Evolution up. They need to wait for ETC to come back up and find value elsewhere, or they're just going to stall it out non-stop with Galthos and Tyrael.
Oh my goodness, so much. This is such a feels bad moment, right? You've got so many like small AoEs, the Flame Strike, the Eldruins, like all of that, and you just can't get the objective. But Greymane gets pulled in by the Condemn, walks away from the Sanctification, but has enough health to be okay. Mosh Pit going on in the back though, but no damage coming in onto it, so everybody was safe with that. Living Bomb being spread, never mind. So no deaths out of that.
Still not popped. It's still available.
And that's a huge benefit for Team Happy Cloud.
Right. The enemy team is, or the Goodbye Forever is basically without ults for the next 30 seconds.
Alright, so we do get the channel started. ETC is hunting around looking for the Abathur. We'll see if Abathur catches it. He does. He's going to make his way behind the wall. And the siege camp picked up.
As they see the rest of them up, he should burrow down bot.
Here they come. Team Happy Cloud's working on stalling this out. The Phoenix coming out. ETC's going to power slide in onto the Sylvanas. Tarada is the one with the clone here. Eileen's Chosen going on to Sylvanas. Misha, however, going to fall. And 11 seconds left on this channel. As Goodbye Forever will get it locked down. Yeah, absolutely. But Happy Cloud's getting fairly low here. Keep in mind, of course, that they are essentially 4v5 at this point, as Abathur not able to quite contribute the same amount of value in these team fights. ETC getting chunked down by the Rexar is going to fall, but Tyrael was looking at Sylvanas, ended up Druinsing out, and it looks like we're going to get a disengage call from Goodbye Forever, but it might be a little bit too late for some of these heroes.
But look at mid. That is complete structure advantage lost there. Yeah, a mule was available there. So they won the objective. They need to make something happen out of this. They need to get at least 2 structures down. Because they lost one from taking the objective.
And not only that, but the lanes are really pressed against them. These cavalry are going to be coming in. You know, Team Happy Cloud has to find more out of these fights. They won the fight, and then Goodbye Forever went and picked up a siege camp in the time that Team Happy Cloud started the channel. You know, they've got to Sylvanas. They've got to make something happen out of it.
And I know you said that Abathur can't contribute that much. Oh, big fight there. Misha goes down. None of his team was there with him. But Abathur, a hatted Johanna can just walk into the back line, and that hat does a decent amount of damage.
Well, we do see Goodbye Forever coming in here after clearing up the Rexar up top. They're going to head down into the mid lane and clean that up. ETC is going to head top, but I imagine that we'll see the rest of Goodbye Forever head down into the bot lane to clear up the cavalry here. The question is, how much damage can Team Happy Cloud get from this?
They're going to get this down at least. I don't know if they can really get any more accomplished in the bot lane, but they have 16s right now. As soon as Rexar joins the fight, they should press the 16. Well, they're not going to have any time to press the advantage because
yeah, they really won't.
16s just came up.
Let's check in. Does Sylvanas have black arrows? She does. So they're going to be able to come in here and get some damage, but they have to be really careful. ETC's coming from above and the rest of the team from below. There's the power slide. And it's going to be Tyrande falling there. Misha trying to make use of that charge, but just not able to get the stun where it needed to be. Clone coming out as well. So Sylvanas' clone going to try to get some damage onto that tower.
And Abathur does not have that bottom boss mine, but they gotta know they're headed there.
Yeah, there's that mine. They know.
He knows now.
Yeah.
So, with that knowledge, they are free to take top boss.
And they do burn through this pretty quickly. Although it is just the 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if either one of them took any PvE damage.
Well, you've got Merc Queen.
Merc Queen, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, because he didn't take the level 1, but I don't think that increases against bosses anymore. I think they nerfed that.
Oh, did mid just went down for Goodbye Forever? I know that it was getting low, but I thought that the pressure from their bruisers or whatever those big null minions are called would have been enough.
The Reavers.
Reavers, okay.
Well, yep. But Abathur things.
Abathur things.
So definitely more value from the Goodbye Forever boss, getting that keep wall down. You know, Team Happy Cloud did the absolute best they could with what they had, which was to get half of that top fort. So if they can win this next objective, they'll be in a good position to be able to take down that top fort and find a keep potentially.
If Abathur moves into the top lane, that should provide enough pressure to take out that top fort.
There's a power slide coming in. Eldrune going into the back line here for the Tyrael. He does have Sanctification, but Misha's going to fall. And I think we did hear a go for the throat there.
And it just went on cooldown. So he did not get to use the reset.
Well, he might have gotten it on Misha, and then just either didn't get the follow-up or used it immediately after.
Well, no, he didn't use it immediately after, because I only heard the wah, 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 wah once.
Fair enough. All right, ETC going in, did get the light bomb, started the cast. No, he didn't actually start the cast on Mosh Pit, tried to.
Look at all those living bombs.
Sanctification coming out, Johanna's gonna fall. Tyrael going to fall as well, and trying to get over there to reduce that death timer, that adjustment to the trait, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Happy Cloud, and they're still up a half a level, but the Flame Strike...
Oh no!
Does Rexar? No, Rexar barely survives here.
150 HP on that Rexar. This Kael'thas is getting hashtag value from those living bombs. These tight areas, just apply bomb, watch the magic happen.
Yeah, especially when you have a Misha too. Like, you can micro Misha all day long, but it's hard to, or harder to manage both of those at the same time. Now check this out. The siege camp is still going. It just finished for Goodbye Forever, and they've now sent out a second one.
I think that ironically having the siege camp push up that much is to their detriment, because it's letting Abathur just soak up all that experience.
That's true, and they did get level 20 out of it.
Heal off that keep with Mule, and now they have 20s online. And we have the double hat out from Abathur, Blink from Sylvanas, Radiating Faith from Johanna, and Shooting Star from Tirana. Oh, and Kill Command from Rexar.
Well, there's the kill command going out, looking for that ETC very far back here. Newbie gonna get caught by it, and the Leap of Faith gonna come out. Sylvanas clone not done though, looking to see if she can't get a little bit more damage out there. But it looks like the cavalry gonna be picked up by Team Happy Cloud.
Yeah, I think that was a good play there, using the Ultimate Evolution to chase that deep in, because it allowed them just to stall out and finish the cap.
Well, on top is a sneeze away from falling. Johanna is entirely by herself down here. Does use the Iron Skin to evade. Also has that movement speed from the level 16 upgrade. And ultimately allowing Sweet Buns to get out of some pretty significant danger there.
Well, Goodbye Forever saw the Rexar in the top lane, and so they pretty much knew that they were safe to go in, and they're going for bottom keep. I think that Team Happy Cloud should just let them have it and push in mid.
Mid and top. They have both options here.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way they could save that, and they could with a Sylvanas. They should have been able to get 2 keeps of their own.
And I don't think at this point they're going to get any.
No. It just, I guess that was just like a panic call to try to defend there, but even if they were trying to end, you have the advantage with the spell power objective and a Sylvanas.
Yeah, not only that, but it's extremely difficult to end with just 1 keep down. So we would have had to have seen Goodbye Forever go into the mid lane to get that one down. And then maybe push on, because doing it otherwise, once you're on the core, it takes a long time. 40 armor is oppressive.
Right, and they could have mitigated that fact with the power of the objective. Oh, big stun. Sanctification comes out, saving everybody. Big mosh, but the boss says no thank you, and everybody's low. ETC's going down. And
he's got the death metal, so he is going to get that locked down. Greymane coming in, looking for the Rexar. Nico is going to fall.
And Living Bomb claims another life.
And make it 2, because Tyrande falls there as well. Not specifically because of the Living Bomb, but certainly low because of it, and Tyrael finishing the job.
2-for-1 fight right there.
Make it a 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Tyrande went down too. Tyrael, I said Tyrande.
So this boss is going to finish up the keep, so that's pretty solid. I think, never mind, it's not going to get it. But Abathur can ultimately get that eventually.
Looks like we have right here, they're going to push out this mid lane, equalize the pressure on bot. Neither teams are going to be really looking to start anything because of the death timers. So it does look like Goodbye Forever is pushing in on the camp. That top fort only has 2,000 HP, or top keep only has 2,000 HP left on it.
Oh, the leap of faith once again, making a double leap of faith.
Backdoored by somebody.
Absolutely crazy.
Johanna's zoning out. Goodbye forever from the objective point, and it does look like Team Happy Cloud is going to get the channel off in time.
And once again, Goodbye Forever coming down into the mid lane to get the siege camp going here. Abathur has done a pretty good job of keeping things up there.
Happening, Goodbye Forever is taking the camp in mid, and they've been very on top of that. And that's going to provide a lot of pressure on the mid lane.
Apparently, somewhere in there, I muted myself because I literally just said that, and then you said it again.
Okay, I wasn't I wasn't sure.
It's fine, it's fine. Mustache Mill getting low here, does have the living bombs going out, the camp still going. Real Sylvanas going deep into the back line is not going to get a kill there, and Johanna's going to fall next. Rexar looking to be the next target. This is catastrophic for Team Happy Cloud.
Yeah, 6 seconds left. That's all they need.
Are there any minions? Yeah, there definitely are minions. So there's vision there. So there's no way, like, unless somehow Rexar can sneak over there and use Misha to tank them and gather them to channel, which would be super risky. And he's not going to do it. So 30 seconds. So there will be enough time at least to defend it. Best case scenario, though, this is double keeps, I think. And if this keep goes down before the objective, which it's looking very likely that it will, that best case scenario is looking grim because these lanes are super pushed up, and both of those cavalry getting here with 20 armor, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, to be honest, I might have just said, hey, let's take out the keep and go straight to core and ignore the objective, because now Happy Cloud has a chance. It's not much of one, but they have a chance.
I honestly don't know that they do. Like, the double cavalry right onto the core, I don't know that they have enough damage to pull it off. Even if they got a full team wipe, I don't know that they have enough damage to pull it off. But they're trying. They're looking for it right now. If they can get, push these heroes back at least. But they need to head back. These lanes are pushed up. They're going to be going right into the core.
Yeah, they need to take out one of the cavalry before it gets that far. Well, I think that's what they're trying to do up here.
ETC's going to get the power slide. Didn't have Mosh quite yet. Was literally 1 second away. The Sylvanas clone trying to help to see if they can't get the kill on ETC. But now looking at the Kael'thas. But Greymane going to finish off the clone. Big mosh pit and go for the throat coming out. Did not get the kill. But Sanctification is coming in. Core at 13,000 health here and falling rapidly. Johanna's going to go down, but it doesn't matter. Drekthar falling, and that's going to be Goodbye Forever, taking the 2-0 victory over Team Happy Cloud.
Wow. An impressive ending right there. Not what I expected at all.
Very similar to game one in the kill count there, 10-6. Game one was 7-4, I think. Not a high kill count game, but they're doing what they can, keeping the macro pressure going. And I think that was overall that was a good set. It was just Goodbye Forever was just 5% better in most of the team fights. They were where I think that they really excelled was that they specifically got advantage anytime they won a fight, and they kept the siege camp going in the mid lane at as you specifically called out. They were really good about it, making sure that was constant pressure in the mid lane. And you know what? I mean, if you win all the forts and then win one team fight, you can win the game.
Right. I think that in the end it came down to they made much better macro calls and were able to get advantage because of that.
All right,
it's a slightly different game if they have that mid keep is down near the end. That's going to push the lane a lot more in the favor for Goodbye Forever.
Let's see. So I think I had. Let me make sure that I just put that. It was stats. Okay. Mustache Miller. Okay. Let's head over to a lobby and we'll get an interview done.
Hello, hello.
Hello there.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Good.
So congratulations on your victory there, 2-0 over Team Happy Cloud. How's the team feeling after this big win?
We're feeling really good right now. We just got done kind of congratulating each other. We had a little bit of a rocky couple of matches last week during the final rounds of our round robin. So it feels good to kind of come in strong and just 2-0, and yeah, we're hoping to hold that for our future matches. So it feels really good.
So you
the
guys
only
just
2-0 in all of Div A.
Really?
yeah in the first round. Yeah, you guys are the only ones that took a 2-0. Everybody else was 2-1.
Nice. Well, that feels good then. Even better.
So you guys just played against Team Happy Cloud literally a week ago. It was on the 9th.
Yep.
And they took you guys 2-0. So how did you guys plan and prepare to do this differently this week?
So yeah, like I said, we were having a hard time finding our groove last week. We didn't really play our best in the first round, although I will say that I don't think it got casted, but that first game that we had last week was intense. We went to like level 25. It was a really long, really close game. But then when we lost that, we kind of tried something different in our second game, and it just really didn't work out. So we kind of just lost both of those rounds. But we kind of, with this one, I think we kind of just returned to our guns, just the tried and true Great Main Kael'thas, ETC, and I think it really paid off for us.
Well, and I just went to take a look. That first game last week was 32 minutes long. So yeah. Sounds like it was a lengthy game.
It was a long one, but it was a lot of fun.
So you guys started off as first pick. You ultimately selected Alterac Pass after winning game number 1 there on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So you guys did not play Tomb of the Spider Queen or Alterac Pass against them last week. So what kind of adjustments did you guys make? Obviously, we saw things like the Cho'Gall ban, and obviously the Greymane and Deathwing, but what kind of adjustments did you make specifically tonight based on what you saw coming into the drafts, into the bans, the map bans, and all that stuff?
So I think our priority was to get our sustained damage with Greymane and the wave clear with Kael'thas, as well as the combo potential with Kael'thas off the ETC stun. And then we just took the Anduin for his pulls to deal with the Garrosh. And then we just kind of focused on wave clear and being able to engage and kill a target. And I think that worked out pretty well for us. It was really hard for us to actually lock down the Garrosh, because he was really good about popping Unstoppable every single time we try to blow him up. But at the same time, we forced him to use his Unstoppable a lot, so that let us play around a little bit more after the fact, because our combo was up every, 7 seconds or whatever it is. It's really fast. And then we got Newbie on the Deathwing, which was pretty fantastic. I mean, he did 3 times as much damage as anybody else on our team, so he was just slaying it.
I think he did actually as much damage as the rest of your team combined.
Yeah, we were saying that. He was making us look bad, because we were only really doing damage when we were trying to get a combo off or go for a kill. Newbie was just running around hitting everything that moved, so he was kind of making us look bad in the first game, but we kind of brought it around in the second one and actually brought it back. Actually, an interesting thing for that second match, we did not mean to pick Tyrael at all. That we were debating on what to pick, and we had decided Anduin, but we didn't have Anduin selected in time, and so it just randomed him into Tyrael. So we're really thankful that worked out the way it did.
Nice. Hey.
He could have randomed you onto Probius.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that Newbie can play pretty much anything, so we would have made it work one way or the other, but we were glad that it landed on
Probius.
we're glad that it landed on somebody that we were pretty comfortable with. So
Sure. So, one of the keys to victory that I saw between these two games here is that you guys were all about the macro play. You had in the second game, you were constantly keeping those siege camps going. At one point, having one of them up almost immediately behind the death of the second one or the first one. And in the first game, timing wise, you were able to send out your web weavers and get maximum value. Is that just kind of a standard definition for you guys, or is this again another adjustment that you made after the gameplay here a week ago?
I think
it felt like you guys, for the most part, were. Sorry, I just wanted to add one more thing. Yeah, it felt like for the most part, you guys were staying away from team fighting and just saying, you know what, let's just focus on the map, and then we'll deal with that team fighting thing later.
So I think one of the major adjustments that we made as a team was, partway through this season, we kind of looked at some of the stats of the Storm from all of our matches, and one of the things that one of the key takeaways that we had was that we died a lot. So we were doing good, but we had a lot of deaths, a lot more than most other teams. And so we kind of assessed, looked at some of our games, watched some replays, and we kind of agreed that as a team, we were taking too many risky calls. Like, we would get an advantage, and then we would try to double down, and we'd take a camp, or we would take a boss, or we'd go for something kind of risky anytime that we had an advantage, sometimes too risky. And so I think a lot of the times the matches that we lost, it was because we went for the aggressive play too much. And so it ended up losing us some games or macro. So I think one of the adjustments that we made for these matches is we kind of took a step back and said, okay, we don't need to go and take their camp or to really push this. Let's go take ours, take the camps at the right time so that they're pushing for this objective, maximize what we can get out of the map without necessarily just running at them to fight them just for the sake of fighting them. So I think that was kind of the major change that we made, and I think we did really well tonight with calls. Flavor Flav was our shot caller tonight, and he was making some amazing shot calling decisions for the team. So I think that helped us a lot as far as getting camps at the right time and going for the plays when we needed to.
Makes a lot of sense. Munkus, what questions do you have?
First, I wanted to say that it seemed like you might have done less risky plays when you had the advantage. Y'all made some pretty risky plays when you're at a disadvantage. Going for that bottom keep was very gutsy, I felt.
So on that one, I actually, you're talking about the Altaric Valley, right? The match we just had? Yeah, so that call was because we looked at the map and we were originally going to back immediately to defend. I think did we get a kill? I don't remember. We had some kind of advantage, I thought, but it might have just been, I remember for a fact that we looked at the map and we saw that they were on the map top and mid and really far away from us. And so we just went ahead and made the call to take keep, and then we thought we would have enough time to back and defend all of our points. And that's exactly what we did, and it worked out really well. So it was kind of risky, but it was a calculated risk because we knew that they weren't going to be able to respond to us quick enough for it to really be a threat. So,
right, I felt like they would have, if they had pushed the lanes with the objectives, they could have gotten 2 keeps off of that while you were doing the one. But their decision to go back and defend it was probably the worst decision they could make in that situation, because you got the keep and they backed and they were completely far away and you free cleared the objective. Yeah,
it worked out for us. I think it could have backfired, but I'm glad, obviously, that we made the call that we did. So.
And one of the biggest questions I had is, do y'all have a pocket Cho'Gall that I don't know about? Because Cho'Gall got banned against y'all both games, and I know he's a strong hero, but you have to be able to play him well.
So we have been practicing. I'll go ahead and say it. It's not like that's going to be our go-to. I already told the group that I was coming in here to give away all of our secrets. It's a team tradition at this point. We always give away secrets. So if you're scouting, there you go. There's a freebie. But we have been practicing a little bit of Cho'Gall. So I'm 100% confident that we could pull it out at any point. But we're not going to try and force it. Cho'Gall is in a really good spot, so I think that might have been their reasoning for banning it. Is they just didn't want to have to deal with that more so than I don't. They couldn't have scouted us and seen it because we haven't had any matches in NGS where we've picked Cho'Gall. But it's a possibility, and we might pull it up. We'll see. But yeah, we're not going to force it.
In the game on Alterac Valley, I was assuming that they were going to pick Greymane immediately, but they went for the Abathur straight away. Was that something that they were contesting with you there? Do y'all have an Abathur play on that map?
We almost actually banned Abathur, and we ended up banning. I don't remember who we banned instead.
Deathwing and Hanzo were your bans?
Hanzo, yeah. So we banned the Hanzo instead, just because in the game before the Hanzo was doing a lot of work, and we were a little bit worried about him going into the future. So we went ahead and banned him, but we had discussed banning Abathur as well, just to kind of get rid of that. I don't want to call it cheese because Abathur's not really cheese, but it's just kind of a difficult thing to deal with Mule and everything else that Abathur brings to the table. But we ended up letting it through. And yeah, I don't know, we were kind of surprised by it as well, to be honest, because it did give us that ETC Greymane, which is kind of our bread and butter. So we just took that and ran with it, and it worked out.
Yeah, I completely expected Greymane to be a lot more contested. Based on what you're saying, it seems like you got exactly what you wanted in both games.
Yeah,
except for material.
Yeah, but I mean that worked out fine too. But yeah, I thought that they were going to pick Greymane, and I thought that's why they let it through the draft. And we have responses to Greymane. It's not like if they pick, like we let it through too because we had ideas of how we were going to counter the Greymane if they did pick Greymane. So we weren't. I don't want to say we were scared of it, but we had ways to deal with it if they did pick the Greymane, so we let it through the draft in hopes that we might be able to get them. And sure enough, they picked Abathur, so we went ahead and snatched them up. But usually, from most of the games that we've had, Greymane's a lot higher contested hero for us. So
yeah, and I definitely know that Dread Pirates and Deathwing Soka Lounge both love to play Greymane, so I'm not sure who y'all are playing in your next matchup, but you're going to have to fight for that for the Wolf Boy.
Yeah, we've. I think both those teams were some of the hardest drafting matches that we had during the round robin stage, where we knew that they had Greymane, we wanted Greymane, so it just kind of turned into this weird. Okay, who's going to get it? Are we going to ban it? What's going to happen? So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited.
All right, out of all of the teams that you possibly could face or will face, which one are you most excited about potentially getting the matchup against?
I would say probably Dread Pirates. They're a really cool group of people. We had a lot of fun against them, and they did beat us. And so I would really like a rematch against them. So I'm excited for that if we get the opportunity.
Well, that'll be in the finals because they're in the other half of the bracket. They'd have to beat Regen Retro. You'd have to beat Deathwing Hookah Lounge.
We'll see you in the finals. Although I am excited for Deathwing Hookah Lounge. I actually don't remember if they beat us during the round robin stage. I think they did, right? It was like, I don't have the stats up, unfortunately. I think they beat us 2-1.
Entirely possible, yeah. I mean, that was Deathwing Hookah Lounge was pretty high on their overall stats, but I don't think they were undefeated, so.
First.
Either way, I'm excited to fight any of them, so we'll see.
Good deal. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Any shout outs that you'd like to make?
I think the biggest shout out I want to give is just honestly to my team. I've been playing with these same guys for years and years and years now. We started up in Chair League like 4 or 5 years ago, and we've been playing together ever since, just regularly. So I don't think I would be into the game as much as I am if it weren't for them. So shout out to everyone on the team, and then all the other subs on our team who fill in as well. So thanks to you guys, and that's it.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us here, Mustache Miller. Good luck in the rest of the playoffs, and hope you do well.
All right, thank you very much.
All right then. So that's gonna wrap us up here for this. At 11 o'clock here, we do have a Division B West matchup coming in. I'm gonna try to do a real quick replay cast, but this is gonna be an older one, so I can't do it with you, Munkus. So anything you want to say to Twitch chat before we before we take off for this round?
Just shout outs to Beast Coast, my team, and go Div A. Let's. These have been very exciting games to watch. That could have gone either way.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining me tonight here, and look forward to having you again.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, so everybody, we'll be back in just a moment. Going to do a real quick replay cast here. This is going to be a heroic replay cast between Anti-Clown Association and Phoenix Rising Topaz. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.